journey into the night and take flight on a pursuit of musical bliss. Chasing beats through ghetto streets to a dungeonous temple left by our soul descendants in a quest for peace, energy, and light. If you were to find this temple, do you have the knowledge to enter the temple? Do you want it? And if you had it, would you flaunt it? Well, it's yours.
Yo, what's up? This is John Cutler.
And this is Bang the Party Zone, Eric Eman Clark.
We'll both be appearing at the Aquarium, 256 Old Street. That's 256 Old Street, London, March 8th.
For the party nightlife.
Eman will be on the mic performing It's Yours. I'll be on the decks, and then Eman will be on the decks. Let me get that straight.
Yo, you should just say that. Let me simplify that. That shit just sounds corny.
Yeah, I know.
You just say first. After I say the party's 15 bones, right? Then that's when you do that, or it's before that? It's before that, right?
I'll just say we're both.
Just say I'm gonna be doing my thing. Me and E-Man are gonna be doing our thing. He's gonna do the song that put us on the map. It's yours. You know what I mean? Like that. Because that shit is like corny the way this shit's going down right there.
Yo, what's up? This is John Cutler.
And Bang the Party Zone, Eric Eman Clark.
We'll both be appearing at the Aquarium, 256 Old Street. That's 256 Old Street, London, on March 8th.
For the party nightlife.
E-Man will be performing the hit that put us on the map, It's Yours.
And John's going to be doing his thing too, man. And I'm going to give you the late set after that.
It's 1-5 admission, 15 pounds, all night. One more time.
It's almost there. So listen, this is what I think I should do.
They got a ringtone. You know that?
What?
They got a phone, a ringtone with this on it. Yeah. Go to the site, go to Yahoo, put in It's Yours ringtone, and it'll come up. You can download it.
Onto my phone? What?
Yeah.
So where's it going?
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta have my own record on my ringtone, so that'll make us just like that'll be how funny is that? I gotta download. Yo, you should download it for me tomorrow, so I can.
I don't know how to do it. You gotta look through it. And the guy in London did that deal. He wasn't supposed to do that shit.
Which one?
That guy.
What you mean? He gave the record to like the phone people?
They contacted Neil about it, and I wasn't sure what the deal was. If it's a publishing thing.
So yeah, how you get paid for that?
We did, no, we didn't get paid. We didn't get paid anything in England. We got, ripped. Like, they licensed the record all over the place. The guy that
For this song, you didn't get paid. You're talking about for that.
No, we got paid, first the guy put it out in the States, and we got paid for that.
Right.
And then it took a while, but then he came correct. Everything was fine. And then he did, thousands of licensing deals, which we got paid on. But the biggest market was in the UK.
Right.
And the company that took that, we didn't even get the second part of our advance. That's how bad it is.
So they still owe you money.
They owe him money, the guy in the States.
He owes us money.
And he owes us money, but we're not. I'm just I give up. We should have been sued a long time ago. I hope this guy calls, man, when this shit drops. He's gonna call right away for it.
You just relicensed the track back. And perhaps we could generate some money off of it that way. I'm sure they'd be interested to know that, you know.
Turn, my new mix CD, out on Distant. It's Yours, originally released on Shea Music, produced by me, featuring Eman.
Written by me. Actually.
Written by Eman.
Right.
Proper etiquette. When Shea Music licenses a track, I get 50% of it. Now, I licensed the track back from Shea Music. Neil looked out and he didn't charge me anything, so there was no advance because I would have got half of that anyway. Now it will be released on Distant Music, but I now, Intel, owe royalties on all these licensed tracks, which means I owe Neil, Shea Music, royalties on this CD. After I pay the royalties out, I have to generate a statement for Aline. But Aline has to pay me 50% of whatever he earns on the licensed tracks, so I get 50% back of that. And that's that.
And then which Intel he will give me the money out of his 50%.
He may get my split.
You know. So, but these are the things you have to do to recoup your money when people don't pay you up front and refuse to get you the money they owe you. Some people just do it with a fucking baseball bat. We have, John has chosen to do it the correct way. So that's the only reason why Mr. Aileen is not walking around with crutches or in a wheelchair now. So we're going to hope that Mr. Aileen sees this video or movie, or if the guy who did the licensing deal in London sees this, we've also said that you haven't paid us either.
Yeah.
So basically, if we see you and you act like you have paid us and you think that we're lying, feel free to sue John or Neil, because you're going to have to prove that you paid in order for to sue us. So either way, we'd really like to meet you too, because you need to be baseball batted the fuck down too. So, let's hope that, perhaps, we could work it out where people don't have to get baseball batted. The last verse is, I'm sure this feeling's yours to explore. Rush just like before, that makes you hot just like before. I'm sure this feeling's yours to explore.
But it's thinking that right to the sunlight like the sister will burn time and time again, changing faces to be. So rocking kings that must apply, all my people raise them high.
Right about now, it's time to go just like before, with more food for thought, just like before. Stay in that positive light, just like before, and your future will surely take flight, just like before. Keep the family tight, just like before, and things will be alright, just like before. Each one teach one, just like before. Learn to have fun, just like before. Follow your dreams, just like before, no matter how hard it seems, just like before. So give us a chance, just like before, and we'll make you dance, just like before. Just like before, make church bells ring just like before, make you dance and sing just like before. My man's got a big beat just like before, make you wanna move your feet just like before, and take it up and down just like before, while the beat rocks just like that shit's starting to sound real funky, John. Who are you?
DJ Spinner.
Right.
Born and raised in Brooklyn. Got into the scene pretty early because I'm not that old. So, got into the game as a young buck. Still a young buck.
Who threw you into the realm of house music? What drove you to it to actually start to produce it?
Well, I've been a fan of house since like mid '80s. when it really took like precedent in New York City. You know, back in the days of like Without You and Break for Love and, you know, House Music Anthem. You know, even like a little before that with Serious Intention. You don't know, like those are the kind of records that had impact on me.
Mhm.
So like 85, 86. I started like messing around with production starting like 89. You know, just, you know, making rough demos, just to see, you know, just put my ideas down just to see what kind of direction I might want to go in or whatever. But on vinyl, the first thing to ever come out officially was in '98. So it took, you know, it's been years of just progress and development.
Cool. What would you say so far has been your biggest obstacle to hurdle in the house music community?
Wow, making a lot of money. But no, I mean, I'm still, you know, although like I've been a fan of the music and I know a lot of the history, I'm still sort of new as far as getting a lot of records out. You know, and that's my main combat right now, because since I do so many kinds of things. A lot of people know me for doing hip hop. I've done a lot of like down tempo remixes and productions, a lot of, you know, R&B soulful type stuff. So I'm just still kind of like getting my feet wet. Although I did plunge pretty hard with the two Sean Escoffier records, The Days Like This and the Space Rider tracks. So, and I started a label as well called Wonder Wax. And I had my first like promo for that this year's Winter Music Conference, March 2002. So, you know, with that and just trying to develop.
What track was on Wonder Wax?
The name of the track was called Reality, and it's a
Oh, the one with
Rich Medina.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get it together. We'll get it together, and it'll be out shortly.
Okay. What else do I want to ask you? You get like when you travel now.
Right.
What do your sets consist of? What kind of music are you know?
They're pretty diverse, and it also depends on what the night is about as well. You know, whatever the theme of the party is. I've done nights where they've been strictly house, and then within that I'll play like classic house, you know, whatever's current, you know, disco records. You know how it goes.
Mhm.
But then there's been times where I will be diverse, like I could play a little bit of everything, whatever I want. So in there could be hip hop, there could be like R&B, disco, house, Brazilian, Latin, jazz, funk, rock. You know, it all depends on what the whole vibe of the party is about.
Do you like those parties more? Do you like the ones where you have the full range to play whatever, or is it easier to come into a venue and just know that you're gonna play house music or know that you're gonna play hip hop?
I'm pretty suffice with both ideas. You know, I feel confident in myself that I can rock both vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I think I may have a little more fun doing parties where I can play a little bit of everything, because the energy level changes throughout the night. I can experiment a little more, especially with an audience that's open-minded. Or closed-minded, because when they're closed-minded, you know, you can kind of challenge them as well. You know, play records that cross boundaries and see how they react.
Mm-hmm. There's this bill that Senate's trying to pass called the Rave Act. Do you know anything about that? It basically gives police the right to disassemble dances, like any kind of music that kind of, you know, it's kind of like targeted for electronic music, which house falls under that category, and it gives the police are coming into these venues under the guise of, well, not under the guise, but they're coming in with the authority to dismantle your party because it's dance music, and it's like something they're trying to pass so that they can kind of like isolate the whole dance community and make like places like New York like a lounge community where people just come into places and they sit around and they drink and they talk and they smoke or whatever, but they don't really dance. Do you you know, do you have Is there like a pattern that you see going? I mean, like me as a DJ, I kind of look around and I look at different venues and what they're able to do and not do. Do you see any kind of pattern right now that kind of like reflects that kind of like, legislature? Like, do you see it like when you go into clubs, like people getting harassed for the dancing and cabaret things and stuff like that?
Well, I've just noticed over the years, since like my hardcore days of partying, that there's a lot less parties. It's a lot harder to get venues. It may be under the guise of bar guarantees being too high or whatever, but there's definitely some politics involved with venues right now, and not being able to just get a spot to have fun in. And I haven't exactly noticed people being harassed, but I just know there's definitely a vibe out there that seems like there's some kind of prohibition towards like this culture, like the dance culture. Parties are also getting shut down left and right, and they may, it may look like it's getting shut down for one reason, but there may be a whole other thing behind it that relates to this legislature. So there's definitely something in the air, and I think it's sad because it's stifling creative freedom. It's crazy.
What are the venues right now you like to play? Venues or parties that you really where you get a good feeling from it musically?
Well, I do a monthly in New York. There's different themes. I've done like the Stevie Wonder night with Bobito called Wonderful, where it's all Stevie tracks all night, Stevie produced, Stevie written performances, people who cover it, and that's probably the most like emotional night that I've ever done. I think we're going on the 5th one soon. There's different themes. I just did an 80s party, but aside from like the parties that I do, I love going to Japan. I just think the culture out there is like, they're just, as people, they're just very warm people, very respectful, and they definitely are not afraid to show you love while you're playing. And I think that's a problem with a lot of other places. A lot of people, especially like, well, I don't want to, call out any locations, but there are places where you go where the people just don't give it up easily. But I love Japan.
How do they give it up? Speaking of which, since you opened that door, how do they give it up to you here?
Here, there's been love, but I think a lot of the love has come recently with the success of the Sean Scoffy records. Before that, it's a little different. But that comes with the territory of like progressing and becoming more of someone who's in the limelight on the production, end, and as an artist, and what have you. But overall, man, I'm not really complaining. I played Bang before. The love was there for sure.
It sure was. Yeah, I'm sure you'll get it again too when you get less busy. Since you did say something where you were talking about love and venues, and I'm just trying to think of what else I could ask you that I could use. And then like the world would like to know. I guess what's next? How many you got? What new production projects can we look forward to? And what's happening on the production horizon?
Well, like I said, I have the One the Wax thing, and I've been speaking to a few people, producers that I'm gonna most likely be doing some collaborations with. I don't want to mention any names because
it's too early.
Nothing's finalized. My BBE album, Barely Breaking Even, full-length compilation, is sort of like a testament to my whole existence right now, because what I'm able to do with that is absolutely cross like a population of people that would normally know me for doing one thing, and having them open themselves up and check for me in different realms. Cause I got new jazz, broken beat, I got house, I got hip hop, I got soul, the whole gamut. So that's like my baby right now. Hopefully I'll be done with that within a week or two. It'll come out, early next year.
Who's some of the people you work with?
Oh wow. Where can I start? I've done a lot of a slew of remixes. Let's see, where can I start? For Hero, Les Nubian. I did a mix for Mary J. Blige and George Michael. They did As Over, and I did a mix for that. Ronnie Jordan, worked with Mos Def. So many people, man, I can't even think right now. But Sean Scarfy, obviously. Jimmy Summers, saxophone player. That's very recent. Vinny Mojica. So there's a lot of people, man. It's a lot.
So we're not gonna hold you, yo. Are we gonna ever do a record, man?
Yeah.
If you ever slow down, man, are we ever gonna do a record?
We are definitely gonna do a record.
All right, man. You got it. We at least got it on film, so
Yeah.
we're not gonna take them to court. So thanks a lot.
Hi, this is Joe Vaughn from Next Move Records. Here hanging out at Bang the Party, chilling out, Come for the 5th anniversary. I think I've been knowing these cats for like forever, put it that way. Even before I even probably put up my first record out, as you all know, Turn It Up. I've been playing mostly a lot of times over in Paris, London, do a radio station show over in Paris called Radio Nova. Also have my own mix show on my website. It's nextmoverecords.com if you'd like to check that out sometime. And that's basically it, but I'm hanging out over at Bang, having a good time.
My name's Tyrone Francis. House music. House music to me it's a spiritual thing. It's something that cannot be taught. You have to live it. I grew up in the garage era. I went to the Loft. I went to the Choice. My brother used to work over the Choice. Brother used to work in the garage also. My first experience out in the garage was I was 16 years old. I went to the garage and I got beat up by my brother for going. Because I wasn't supposed to be there. Back then the saying was caving your chest in, and I got my chest caved in behind the speakers, behind the stage, I should say. And I went back the following week, and he tried to beat me up again, and it was like his friends were like, just let him stay. He's gonna come down here anyway. So that was my first experience with actually being in a club for the duration of 12 hours. And I loved it, and it was over from there. Tutelage came from Camacho, who's playing tonight, and my brother George, which Camacho is my mentor. I learned a lot from him. Also, I'm going to give you a couple other names. Jimmy Regisford, listened to him on the radio back then when they had 6-hour time slots. Ted Currier, which a lot of people, I had mentioned the name, a lot of people don't know the name, but he was one of the people that you used to listen to on the way down to the garage at 12 midnight from 12 to 6. Merlin Bob, Chef Pettibone, these are people I grew up on and I grew up with, and I learned part of me is all of them incorporated. Eman. When I met Eman, it was strange. We met from me coming down here and me seeing him out and him doing his parties, and Eric's been friends for quite a while. And I always came down here to Bang the Party. It's a cool atmosphere. It's diverse. That's what makes Bang the Party Bang the Party. I call it the hottest party in Brooklyn.
DJ Romaine / producer. And I've been producing for about, I'd say 13 years, DJing for about 20. And putting out various tracks on various labels. And now I have my own label, Metro Tracks, which has been on hold for a minute, but now I'm coming back out with a new track with Eman called Respect the Music. If Eman was here, he can talk about it, but he's not. So I'm going to talk about it for him. It's a track that we just came together. He called me up. He riffed the vibe over the phone. I said, man, that sounds good. Come over. He came over. I swear, man, I had the track done when he came over. My man Matt played some keys in the bass line. Eman came over. He laid it down in 20 minutes flat. I couldn't believe it. No mistakes. He left. This was like in November of 2001. The record's now finally coming out July 3rd week of 2002. So hopefully this will be a landmark for the return of Metro Tracks. So hopefully it'll be all good.
Hello, my name is DJ Camacho. I've been DJing now 30 years. I started in the early 70s. I started in 70 at a club called Docks downtown Newark. DJ called Hippie Torales. Gave me my first shot to play. I travel all over the world. I've been all over, from Africa, you name it, I've been there. I'm still playing underground soulful house. 86, I landed a club in New York called The Space with my man Tyrone Francis, and we started DJing and we started Wild Pitch, and from there my career took off. I got my own label called Wake Up Records. I got artists redeemed. My newest release is Intense featuring Ricky Nelson, and that's on Wake Up Records. I'm leaving next week to go to Rome again. Right now, to me, I think underground house in New York is getting a little stronger because it's starting to get mixed in all the clubs, all the black clubs. From the early 70s, all the underground clubs been majority black and Spanish. Now they're starting to get mixed. As long as it stays mixed, house music is strong over here in the United States. The reason why it's so strong overseas because majority of the crowd, if you have 5,000 people in the club, you got about 2 blacks in the whole club and all white. So the music is real strong out there. But now over here, you got a lot of Europeans moving into New York. So now the clubs are starting to get like 30% mix. So if it's continue doing that, house music will get strong. And there's a lot of good underground soulful tracks coming out on independent labels and also out of import labels. Well, the clubs I hang out, majority like the Shelter here, people come to party, they come to dance. It's not about showboat or what kind of job they have, how much money they make. It's more about building music and dancing. So those are the clubs I hang out at. Some clubs I played at around the world or over here are more what I call trendy clubs, when the people come there more about their style and the money they make. They don't care about the music. Like I said, the Shelter here, and you have right now there's only the 2 clubs, the Shelter and Bang the Party, where you can go and you can feel free to dance and nobody care who you are, what you do for a living. One thing about me, since I've been in the underground scene in 86, I used to, back in the early 70s, and I say all the way to about 83, I was playing in commercial crowds, but I used to play at Bonds International, Parrot, Red Parrot, Bentley's, and all that crowd. I left that crowd, I went underground back in 85. 86, I landed in New York. And since that, I've been just playing true soulful underground, and I play around the world, and that's what I play. They can put me in a techno club, and I'll still play black music, because that's what I call it, black music. Everybody they got different names now. They got garage music, they got hard house, they got all that. Back in the day, in the Paradise Garage, it was no name, because Larry used to play rock, rap, you name it, he played it. He just was music. Now they got different styles. Me, I keep the black style. As long as it's soulful, Camacho's playing. And I like playing a lot of new, when I say new music, I mean stuff that's not released. I like promoting records. When I play, like, anywhere from 5 to 10 hours, I'll break it down, play classics, but I like promoting new records. Because there's a lot of good soulful stuff out here. It's some of the DJs that got names are scared to play it. What I'm doing on Wednesday, starting in 2 weeks, I'm doing a club called Shaman's between Spring and Broome on West Broadway, and it's going to be nothing but new music played. You get to promote underground music that people don't play. That's going to be the spot for you and hear nothing but new music. And then later on, after things builds up, I might take over the weekend on the club and then do the regular underground classics and everything.
Saturday night?
It's going to be Wednesday night.
Wednesday?
In 2 weeks, yeah. The club is called Shaman's between Broome and Spring on West Broadway. Yeah, I'm doing that in 2 weeks. And it's going to be similar to this, playing new music.
Oh, I'm Joey Llanos, for those of you who don't know. I'm a DJ in this world of many DJs. Some people don't like to call themselves DJs, but I love music. I'm a DJ. I've been playing records since mid-70s. I was taught by Larry Levan. And now my musical path is crossing Eman, so I'm here playing at Opaline once a month. and I hate doing interviews. And I'm getting ready to go on right now, so I'm gonna cut this one short. And what is this? 4th of July. Yeah. Happy 4th of July.
Well,
We talked to our
yes, they
friend
are,
Kai
because they're
Fikencher,
not
the author of the book You Better Work, about
store,
white label
and then I
promotional
found
records.
a proper sleeve for it, but this is how you get them in the store. And you're lucky if they say something like Sade, or something like that, or Barry White. And then you don't know what tune is on here, unless somebody tells you. So what do you want to know about them? They're usually pressed at very low numbers. They are pressed outside the official rules of the game, which is if you license somebody's song, in this case a Sade song or Barry White song, you pay the publishing company associated with that artist. There are royalty payments involved, mechanical royalties, licensing fees. A lot of DJs who go into production with equipment in their houses, house music, bypass these rules and operate below the radar, so to speak, because once you go into the territory of the CD and you press 1,000 or 10,000 or 50,000, then the money involved is so important that somebody might pull you before the court, before the judge. If you are limited to 500 pieces or 1,000 pieces, which is typical of these white labels, the history tells us that nobody's going to bother. Chances are slim that somebody will hold you responsible for the violation of copyright law. So how do you profile yourself as an up-and-coming DJ producer? By producing a few white labels. As collector's items, as exclusives, they are highly desirable. So DJs will proudly announce that they have this or that white label and nobody else has it. And if you want to hear it, you got to go to his or her party. Hence the desirability of these white labels. And if you're really good, you can find them for 99 cents.
This is Laurie Cavall here from Bang the Party, and
Yeah, that's that. And then we just.
this is our album that we're playing now. This is the song that Laurie wrote for I Am the Road. It's coming on right now. And that's the little t-shirt that we're giving away in Torture. Look at that. We're giving away stuff. There you go.
Want a shirt? Want a shirt?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
XL? This is like
Cool.
10 million. Medium?
That's all for my man like It's a bad to ride the train, man. It's a bad to ride the train. The way home seems so far as I look upon the stars. I know it's been so long, but now I'm feeling strong. I finally see the road. I see the road. I am the road. I am the road. Set me free, set me free. I see the road. But now I understand that truth has led his hand. I finally see the road. I see the road. I see the road. I am the road. I see the road. I am the road. Walk with me. Walk with me. Talk with me. Walk with me. I am the road. I see the road. I am the road. I see the road.
So that basically was that was the ride to Brooklyn. Now we're gonna go ride back to Atlantic Avenue, get in one of our neighborhood bars, man, and take all these people and it's popping, you understand? That's how we used to do it. We gotta do it one station at a time.
Thank